So today we're going to talk about acid deposition. And acid deposition is another transboundary issue, meaning like ozone depletion, acid deposition has far-reaching effects other than, where the emissions were actually created. It can go, anywhere because of the air currents. So the definition of acidic deposition is the deposition of acid or acid-forming pollutants from the atmosphere onto Earth's surface. And we usually talk about acid deposition in terms of acid precipitation, or specifically acid rain. But it doesn't have to be rain. It could be acid snow, acid sleet, acid hail. So any precipitation containing acid. Now, acid deposition is just a type of atmospheric deposition. So just one type of atmospheric deposition. So atmospheric deposition, the wet or dry deposition on land of any kind of pollutants. So it could be acid-containing pollutants like sulfuric acid and nitric acid, like we'll talk about with acid deposition, or it can be mercury that comes from burning coal. It can be nitrates. It can be organochlorides. So any of these, pollutants that are deposited onto land. So acid deposition, just one type of atmospheric deposition. And acid deposition or acid rain comes from two main sources. So sulfur dioxide, which is a primary pollutant, is one source, and that is from industry, mainly burning coal. So sulfur dioxide will turn into sulfuric acid, which is the secondary pollutant. The other source of acid deposition is nitrogen oxides, and again, those are mostly from vehicle emissions, so cars and other vehicle emissions. So nitrogen oxides, again, being the primary pollutant, and those turn into nitric acid, which is the secondary pollutant. So again, the sulfur dioxide from burning coal and the nitrogen oxides coming from vehicles, once they go into the atmosphere, they react with water vapor in the atmosphere, oxygen, and other oxidants, and they form the secondary pollutants, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. So in this diagram, you can just kind of see the process. It's very simple. You have sulfur dioxide, usually coming from burning coal, and you have nitric oxides that are mainly coming from car emissions. It's the main source, and these are your primary pollutants. And then when they react with water vapor in the atmosphere, oxygen in the atmosphere, and other oxidants, they can turn into your secondary pollutants of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And this is what creates this acidic deposition or acid rain. And acid deposition has, all kinds of different effects on ecosystems and even man-made infrastructure. So one of these impacts is on plants, and not only, wild plants, but also our crops. And what this acid rain does is it affects the cation exchange in the soil, which we talked about when we talked about our agricultural chapter. So it affects this cation exchange because it makes the soil more acidic. And what that does is it prevents the cations, such as calcium, magnesium, that are in the soil. It causes them to leach out, and the plants can't take them up. So remember, we talked about cation exchange capacity. It's very important because if the soil doesn't have a high cation exchange capacity, these cations can leach out of the soil, and then the plants don't have them. So the acid rain causes the soil to be more acidic and affects this cation exchange capacity. So this will damage plants and also, of course, lower our crop productivity. So wild plants, of course, but also our agricultural plants. And this also can pull out metal ions from the soil as well and turn them into a soluble form that can go into the water. And this can also damage plants as well. We also talked about this, not on this PowerPoint, but the other thing that sulfuric acid, for example, can do, we talked about this with acid drainage from coal mining. The sulfuric acid that's created when the coal is exposed, remember that can pull out metal ions within the coal, such as mercury, and make them water soluble, and that mercury goes into the water. And that's one of the sources of mercury in the ocean. And then, of course, it accumulates in organisms and it magnifies as it goes up the food chain. So the same kind of situation, this sulfuric acid, whether it's coming from, exposed coal or it's actually coming from sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere, it can pull out these metal ions and convert them into this soluble form, which can damage plants, pollute water, and this could be aluminum in the soil, zinc, or in the terms of coal, mercury. So that acid deposition can go straight into the water as well. And that's going to kill fish and other aquatic organisms because it will lower the pH in the water. And aquatic organisms, of course, are very sensitive to pH changes. And finally, one of the other effects is it damages man-made infrastructure. So any kind of stone buildings, cars can be affected. They've seen tombstones where the writing on the tombstones was erased. Ancient hieroglyphics on pyramids were erased. And even, of course, things that are metal can be corroded by any type of acid deposition. So in this picture on the bottom, it's showing you, before and after acid rain. And you can see these, hieroglyphics on this stone structure before and then afterwards, pretty much almost completely erased. So that's one of the things it can do to man-made structures. In a forest, like in the case of this, not only will the acid rain affect the soil and prevent cation exchange, sometimes the acid rain, in this case acid fog, has been so severe that it can simply kill trees just by the fog enveloping the tree. So how are we addressing acid deposition? Well, if you remember, the Clean Air Act, which was established in 1970, it was amended in 1990 to include 3 additional things that they focused on. So one of those was ozone depletion. So that was addressed in Clean Air Act of 1990 when it was amended, ozone depletion. The other thing that was addressed was acid deposition. And that kind of goes along with a third thing, how acid deposition was addressed. One of the ways is by establishing this cap and trade program for sulfur dioxide, because remember, one of the contributors to acid deposition is sulfur dioxide turning into sulfuric acid. So this cap and trade program really was successful at reducing sulfur dioxide emissions. So these sulfur dioxide emissions in the United States have fallen 67% over the past, couple decades. And they were able to do this, again, by investing in new technology that took the sulfur dioxide out of the emissions. And that was mainly wet scrubbers. So like we keep going over, wet scrubbers captures the sulfur dioxide by having this chemical mist, kind of capturing the sulfur dioxide, having it precipitate out where it can be disposed of as hazardous waste. And even though, of course, it costs money for these coal burning plants and other industries to invest in this technology, like to put in wet scrubbers, the benefits have outweighed the cost, by 40 to 1. So our sulfate loads in our rainfall in the eastern United States, where we have the most coal burning plants, were 51% lower in the past, couple decades than in the 90s. And our nitrogen deposition, our nitric acid, has also declined as well. And that's because of, again, kind of vehicle emissions or what creating this nitrogen deposition So these vehicle emission standards that we talked about before were put in place, and that has also helped decrease nitrogen deposition as well. So overall, both air and water quality in the eastern United States has improved. And again, that's mainly because of the Clean Air Act of 1970, and then the amendments that were put in place in 1990, along with, the EPA standards that were set, and this cap and trade program for sulfur dioxide. So in this diagram, it shows you, here's pH over here. So you can see in 1990 how the eastern United States, a lot of acidic deposition. That pH was very low, and you can see how it is definitely improved. This was in 2011. So that is good news for the United States and many industrialized nations that have put in similar emission standards. Once again, it's mainly the developing countries where they have worse acid deposition because, again, they're kind of one step behind in terms of pollution control. So again, especially in China, they're burning a lot of coal. They don't have a lot of this pollution control equipment like wet scrubbers. And so this is where acid deposition is really becoming a challenge today. Even though we've reduced a lot of our emissions, there's still this kind of time lag between reducing the emissions and positive consequences. But we've already seen a lot of these positive consequences, and they are getting better and better. So you can see this study that was done at the Hubbard Brook Experimental Forest. They actually added an acid neutralizing mineral to the forest to kind of simulate what it would be like if acid deposition was lower. And it rose the pH in the soil. So that was good. So it made the soil less acidic, and the trees in turn were healthier.